So well started by you. And in fact, I do think that as we go from 3.7, 3.8, 5 trillion, 10 trillion, I always say this, and whenever I get a chance to the younger generation, they never take your growth for granted.
Yes.
And you told me this once when we met last time in the finance ministry, and you said that everything, Arnab, is well thought out. Do not assume that our policy post-Ukraine, I can share this with your permission. I was having a little informal conversation with the finance minister, and she told me that everything of our country's position on economic issues during and after the start of the Ukraine crisis was very, very well thought out. And the only thing that mattered for the Prime Minister was national interest, and national interest alone. Madam Finance Minister, now we are in a slightly different situation, and we have to, I believe, prepare for a post-Ukraine situation as well. We have a new president in the US, president-elect, who has committed to ending the war within 24 hours. Even if it doesn't, it's almost seen as a certainty that it will end. My question to you is, what will the post-Ukraine economy look like? You know, we have done very well in this period during the trajectory of the war. Should the trajectory of the war change? And because we took certain decisions, like we became the second largest buyer of Russian crude oil. Our refined oil exports went up massively to Europe. You know, our exports of fuels like diesel to the EU surged by 50-60%. We benefited from that. A follow-up question is, and what every observer will want to know, Madam Finance Minister, is, should the war end? Should the trajectory of the war in Ukraine end? How does our economic policies, how do our fiscal policies, and how does our approach to the world change after that? Will we have to do some resetting?
See, I think it is not just the Ukraine war, even very many other developments which happen and which keep happening make us continuously be dynamic in our decision making and keep resetting.
Thank you. Nirmala ji, we are truly delighted and honored and overwhelmed and happy and extremely proud that you have graced our first event on this brand new campus as our chief keynote speaker and our chief guest. So this means a lot to me personally.
Thank you.
And you have always been very kind, but today you've taken out time on a weekday to come here. We are so happy. We are so proud. We cannot express it in words. I'm sure that when you took that little walk with us, the sentiment carried through, ma'am.
I'm sure, yes.
Thank you. Ma'am, I wanted to start this conversation by thanking you on behalf of every fellow Indian for what you have done as a leader. And I'm sure I speak for everyone in the room, I'm sure, do I not? For the fortitude, strength, the calm, and the solidity that you have brought to the office of Union Finance Minister, which has seen so many illustrious predecessors in the past, and held the country's hand through this extremely difficult and tough times of COVID, and been such a strong support in the Modi government. So may I please request another round of applause before I get to the questions.
Thank you.
I was asked by everyone that before you speak to her, express our gratitude to her. So on behalf of everyone, I think we need to do that.
Thank you.
Nirmala ji, a broad question to start with. How do you view India's economic and financial prospects as you begin the third term of the Modi government?
I think each one of us can be confident and be sure that because of a good visionary leadership, which saw through India through the difficult times and has the vision to take it forward with destinations expressed clearly. Not we're going along, we will reach. No, clearly what is it in the next 2 years? What is it in the next few more years? And what is it that we want to do by 2047? with that kind of a visionary leadership, which is strong in a sense, inside the person, the strength of bearing with the challenges and also the kind of demands that come off. That is the strength I'm talking about of a leadership. And you find that in Prime Minister Modi, and I will say this up front before I even open up this conversation with Arnab. A leader of that nature, keeping a team of people working with him, gives the confidence to the ordinary citizen that you are in safe hands, we will work hard, there shall not be any corruption, we are clear where we want to go along with you. It's not a dream of the leader alone. People are also resonating that voice. So to be in that team, I feel very humbled and honored. And all the praise that Arnab might give me, saying, this is what you brought to this position, this is what you did. It's a big team under Prime Minister Modi. And it is that team which is delivering it. And I don't think personally and individually I am doing some miracle. No, it's a large team and a very firm leadership which says, let's go together. If there are little challenges, if there are, criticism, we'll take it in our stride. But it is that leadership, therefore, which gives me the confidence to tell you here as an answer to this question. We as Indians can be confident that we are being very clearly taken through a phase which is full of challenges. And it is only because of that in the last few years, and it is only because of that in the coming few years, not just my assessment, global observers of Indian economy have very clearly said, India is growing as the fastest growing large economy. It shall continue to be that next year. It shall continue to be that for the next year after